Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Russ and
Jay.
And today we're going to be reviewing Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. I'd actually like to start out with a bit of an anecdote. Back in 2004, Jay and I were seeing Alien vs. Predator with our old crew in theaters. Shout out to you guys, by the way, you were awesome. And basically, so why am I bringing this up? Because when we were going to the movie, every single person was saying, "Why do you want to see this? It looks terrible." And everyone was coming out to the theaters going, "Oh my god, this was the stupidest thing." And everyone was trying to convince me not to see it. I was like, "I don't care. I want to see it." And the thing is, when we saw it, and yeah, half our crew didn't like it, I was just like, you know what? I didn't go into this expecting Shakespeare or some Academy Award-winning performance. I went in to see an alien fight a predator. I got it. I'm happy. Why do I bring this up? Because essentially that's what you're getting here with the new Pirates movie. You're not getting anything new. You're basically getting every plot has been done before in this movie. But the thing is, it's essentially a way. You just sit back in the movie, you enjoy it, and it's just basically to conclude the saga from what we know as best as we do. I particularly didn't think the villain was very memorable. I mean, they're going after another MacGuffin, even though I like the MacGuffin a lot. But it's basically every plot they've already done. It's just, you know, how they're doing it. On to you, Jay.
I like the Alien vs. Predator.
I did too.
I like this movie too.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. Even though it's the same old song and dance, the thing is, it worked because they tried something different for the last movie and it didn't work as well. But this time they did something that paid homage to the original trilogy and it worked. And I like that Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley came back, so that was a nice touch to the movie. They were definitely needed, and it was cool. It revolved around their son with
Henry Turner, yeah.
And then of course Jack Sparrow, or Captain Jack Sparrow, for all you pirate people out there.
Arr! Yo-ho!
I really like Johnny Depp. He does a really good Jack Sparrow for all these movies, even the last one. But what else can he do? I mean, it's kind of like what he is known for now. You know?
True. This is kind of his role at this point. I mean, here's the thing. First of all, I'm not going to lie. There were a couple plot holes in the movie, but they were nothing so severe that, like, I basically just kind of forgot about paying attention to the movie in general. It was just, like I said, the movie was essentially to fill in a lot of gaps, conclude, seal up a lot of plot threads, and in general, I think it did a great job with doing that. I mean, they even kind of left it open for possibly some more sequels, but I mean, either way it goes, whether they do more or they just leave it at this, I'm good with it, because honestly, I don't really see what more they could do. Like I said, this movie wasn't really doing anything new with it or anything. It was just going back to form, thank God, as opposed to, and apologize for my language, on shittier tides. They didn't explain any plot holes from Part 4, but who cares? But other than that, oh, and by the way, for those who absolutely have to know, Paul McCartney has a cameo as Uncle Jack in this movie. Jay liked that a lot. Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley are not in it for long, but, you know, they do the basics, and they get their thing out of the way. Again, you're essentially watching it to see Johnny Depp play Jack Sparrow. And, of course, Barbossa returns, Mr. Gibbs, and a few others. So, one thing I will say regarding the villain, Salazar, played by Javier Bardem, is several people said he was a really cool villain. I thought he was a very weak villain, truthfully, and he's not really going to be a character you're going to remember. Like, seriously, when I'm watching the trailer, I was like, oh, so another guy's after Jack Sparrow. Oh, okay, whatever. One issue I did have, and Jay actually has a point to bring up about this, in one of the admitted plot holes, because they say dead men tell no tales, and he tells a tale and he's dead. Basically, he shows why he hates Jack Sparrow. My problem with it is that when they're explaining what happened in the first movie between Jack and Barbossa, they didn't have to show the history, they just explained it while they were doing other things. So they didn't need to just cut back to a flashback showing young Jack Sparrow going up against Salazar. I didn't see the need. I thought it was like, okay, what is the point of this? I mean, it didn't really build up to Salazar or anything, so I just accepted it was there, you know, whatever, but I think they could have handled it better. The reason I'm bringing this up is because regarding the look of the younger Jack, I think Jay wants to talk about this.
Well, first of all, let me talk about Salazar
okay.
first. Because maybe the character may have not been the greatest of the adversaries he has, but I really, really like the CGI they did with him and his crew. I like the guy that was like, you only see like you didn't see one guy with a head, one guy you didn't even see like his torso, like you only saw certain parts. I thought it was really well done with the CGI on those guys, and then they show a flashback of what happens to him, how his crew got cursed, and they show Jack Sparrow, like a young Jack Sparrow. This one guy's dying, and he's like, he passes on the torch to Jack to continue the pirates' way, because that's what Salazar was doing. He was trying to eliminate all the pirates because he thought they were bad for, they were just bad because we know pirates plunder. Pirates are, not good people. But the thing was, they showed this CGI version of young Jack Sparrow going back to Robert Downey Jr. or Michael Douglas, as Tony Stark and Hank Pym, respectively. And then of course they did, Peter Cushing and Carrie Fisher as Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia Organa in Star Wars, respectively in Rogue One. And it was like night and day for those. Now we're going to get to Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow, and I thought they did it pretty well. Some were probably in between, maybe more towards the Marvel than the Star Wars. And you have to understand, this is all owned by the same company, Disney umbrella. And I think they did a good job. I mean, maybe there could have been some things better done, but I think Russell brought up a point where they were kind of this camera was kind of like not, I don't want to say shaking, but it was moving in a way that it kind of made you, think, well, maybe they were doing that because maybe they were doing, the boat or something. Maybe they had, the motion of the boat on the water or something. Maybe they're still doing something like that.
Let me try to explain what I mean. Basically, I think, in my opinion, at least from what I could tell, it's almost like they didn't want you focusing completely on how good or bad the CGI was for it. They just wanted you to, know it was him, but, they had him move in a certain direction so you wouldn't entirely see his face all the time. Just enough of a hint that you knew it was him, but not so much that you'd be focusing on every single, pixel and everything. Is that, they didn't want you doing that. Just know, yeah, it's him, but they didn't want you focusing too much on it for the most part. And I actually like that. It was, I think, a much better way to do it. Like I said, especially because the CGI, it was just kind of in the middle there. I will say this, though. I found it funny how, and I told this to Jay already, how young Jack Sparrow looks more like Jack Sparrow than it does Johnny Depp, but it's not the first time I've seen something like that in movies.
What I liked about young Jack Sparrow is that he didn't have all the tattoos. He didn't have the X on his eye, by his eyebrow here or wherever. I liked that he developed those things later on in life. I think he had tattoos on his knuckles or whatever. So it was cool that he didn't have any of that stuff. And then of course that the items they were giving him, the hat and the beads and those type of things in the that was really cool. It was it's kind of weird how they just made him a captain, even though he I guess I don't remember what he actually did to save the pirates, or if the guy just kind of just gave passed the torch to him because he was next in kin or something.
Because he was the only one. I think they thought he was the only one left alive. I don't remember the full details. I don't really think, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think the script was strong enough that they paid enough attention. It was to me the script was just enough to keep the audience entertained, but not deep enough. They oh, I get what they were doing there. No, it wasn't that strong.
Yeah. So. And a few things, a few spoilers here. Basically the point is them to find Poseidon's trident, and they were thinking of the whole thing this whole divided thing, and they were trying to figure out what they meant by this word divided. And apparently divided meant to destroy the Poseidon's trident, just destroy it entirely, break it, and it would release all the curses to any curse that was released on, I guess, in the sea, or at least in that area of the Caribbean.
One thing I actually liked about Poseidon's trident, I liked the shape of it.
Yeah.
I liked it wasn't just this perfect looking trident. It had this craggy look to it.
It wasn't symmetrical. It was asymmetrical.
Yeah.
That's what looked cool about it. It's because every time you see a trident like Namor's trident or any other trident you see, it's usually symmetrical. I mean, it still had 3 points on it like it should because of trident. But yeah, I like the look of it, and it looked very ancient, so it looked really, really well done for what it looked like. And of course they just of course Salazar was destroyed, and of course with Hector Barbosa, the main one of the main protagonists, the girl, what was her name?
Karina.
Karina, yeah. She was trying to find out about her family heritage as well too, and then she finds out that ends up being her her father, and they have that touching moment at the end where he tells her, "Yeah, I'm your daddy," and then of course he had to perish, but it worked in that sense.
I think it also worked because, and I was telling people this after I saw on Stranger Tides, essentially Jeffrey Rush looked so tired when he was doing that movie, and I just think he's getting up there, he just doesn't want to do this anymore. And so this movie was kind of his release from that. Like, at least you could say he went out, This was his big finale, and I wasn't really like, oh, but I was like, they're nice, dude. You went out well. As Jack Sparrow said it best, a pirate's life, eh, Hector?
What was cool is I really like I've always liked the chemistry with Hector, with the other characters, like, because he was the main antagonist in the original film, and I liked how he worked up. He still had that antagonistic feel to him, but he was like an anti-villain, or anti-hero.
Anti-hero.
I think either or, but I feel like it's kind of cool. Like, he's kind of still got this bad vibe because he's has all this plunder, I guess, all this fame and fortune, and he did have fame and fortune because he was the most dreaded pirate of his fleet. He had a huge fleet, as they said in the movie, and I just like his chemistry when Salazar, what was it?
Salazar.
Oh, that's his last name. Salazar came to him, and he's like, it just demoted him. I don't know if that's the words, demoted him, demeaned him or whatever. Like, he says, "Oh shit, I have somebody that I have to fear now." It really showed, and that was really good chemistry. Because the chemistry between him and Jack has always been kind of fun. It was a fun chemistry, but now he had someone, a real adversary that he had to.
You're referring to range, not chemistry.
Well, chemistry works between actors, but the thing,
never mind.
Or range, range chemistry, whatever. Chemistry between the, how.
Okay, okay.
I don't want to ramble on with that, but
thank you.
The thing is that I like how they perform well together, because with like I said, with Jack and Barbosa, you always saw the same thing over and over again. But at least this time, Hector Barbosa and Salazar, he had competition this time around. You want to say anything about those about the?
No, I thought
performance between those three.
Well, yeah, that's where the chemistry is, and I like I said, pretty much I like what Jay said about it. I don't really have much more to say. I mean, yeah, he seemed like he really feared Salazar, and although he never fully took Jack seriously, and it worked. Look, Jeffrey Rush has been doing this for almost a half a century, so he knows what he's doing. I'm just gonna give my grade. I give it a solid B. Again, you're not seeing anything you haven't already seen, but it's a good way to wrap it up, in my opinion. It'll clear a lot of plot threads. Just forget Part 4 ever happened. We'll just go with this one. And if you have questions about, well, what about the few references they did have to Part 4? Well, they didn't explain them all in Part 4, so don't worry about them here. On to Jay.
Yeah. That's on you if you don't want to watch Part 4 now, if you're a big enough fan. The cool thing about, I'm just going to say one thing about these movies. I've seen all these in theaters. Usually a lot of times, I may miss a movie in theaters and then just watch it later, but this has actually been a series that I've watched in theaters every step of the way, even that carpet. So it's a fun to finish this off. I'm gonna give this a B+ because I enjoyed it that much, and that's it. Anything else?
This is Russell and Jay signing off.
See you next time.
Yar.
This video is sponsored by the Crazy Kings of Toys. Check them out for all your toy needs and find out why they are so crazy. Find them on eBay, Bricklink, and Facebook. Links are in the description. For more Toxic Pop, visit our website at toxicpop1.wixsite.com/toxicpop. Email us at toxicpop1@gmail.com and check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/toxicpop1 and Instagram at instagram.com/wearetoxicpop. Links are in the description.